Radio Rahim with Eddie Hearn. And, Fight Week's already had quite a bit of controversy before the fighters even get started jabbing at each other. Yesterday, the internet was alive with you and Derek Chisora all over the place. My interview maybe being at the forefront of it. And then I see you guys shake hands on the stage today. Where is this relationship at?
I love Derek, but he just says some stupid things sometimes. And, you have to understand, this sport is personal to me, yeah? The business, my family business, is unbelievably personal to me. So when you question my integrity with stupid comments like that he thinks is just a joke, right? But it's funny. But I have to respond to those comments, and I take it very personally. So that's why it was just good. I just had to say to him, I don't appreciate it. And he said, look, I shouldn't have said it, blah, blah, blah. But he'll make another one tomorrow. Do you know what I mean?
Well,
so
just
Del Boy's Del Boy. You know?
The accusation that the fighters at your gym are somehow supplied with...
It's not even my gym. I don't have a gym. Tony Sims has a gym that some of the Matchroom fighters train at, and we provided the ring, I think, and some equipment in there because we film a lot of content on there. So, he gets away with it because he's in the Matchroom gym. That's what he says. Derek's just a fucking...
Do you have some undue sway with the politics of boxing or the British Board of
Doesn't
Control?
look like it, does it? I've never seen the board react like this before. They're on a mission on this. You got fighters that have failed drugs tests. The world heavyweight champion, one of them. Not a word was ever said. This is like a propaganda mission from the British Boxing Board of Control. They're giving interviews. When have you ever seen the board giving interviews about disciplinary matters? It's wild. So this is going to be really fun how this plays out.
Why do you think they're dug in the way they are?
Ego. Don't like Conor. Don't like me. Don't know. Yeah, they've made a lot of mistakes. We all have. I think we've all made mistakes in this. But I hate Rahim. I hate the way that the board accept no responsibility about the way they behaved in this process. When Conor Benn failed his first test, we received an email exactly the same time as Robert Smith. I then had a phone call with Robert Smith, which I remember every word of that conversation. And from there, everybody made a number of mistakes. It was the first time we'd ever dealt with anything like this. The rules were extremely unclear. But the decision that the board made, which was not in the best interest of the sport, is a decision they could have made 5 weeks before. And also, why not have a hearing? You've got all that time to the fight. Don't forget, there's another fighter that failed a drugs test that actually had 3 days out from a fight, that had a hearing on the day of the fight and was cleared to fight. Great procedure. Really good. So that happened in 3 days. This was 5 weeks. Why not have a hearing, a disciplinary hearing? And now you want to have a hearing? After everything that's happened, well, let's get him in. Because if you're Conor Benn right now and you're reading the board's comments, you think that you're going to get a fair crack at the whip. They've made their decision. Do you know what I'm saying? So, and Conor Benn just wants to, the board are now basically trying to stop Conor Benn from fighting anywhere in the world. So a massive legal, now Conor Benn is just exploding every day. It's like, guys, you've got to calm down and get in a room. But both are acting at times like idiots.
Now, on the week, when there was a scramble, can this fight be saved? There was a discussion of new venues. And you were like, no, we're not doing that. We're not going to put a thumb in the eye of the British board. And now, obviously, Dubai looks like a potential site for Benn to fight. Is that not the same thumb in the eye?
No, not at all, because we were going to do the fight in the UK. That was the question that was put to us. We could have gone ahead with the fight with another commission in the UK. Remember when David Hay boxed Derek Chisora? That's exactly what they did. Right? So now, but we chose not to out of respect for the board. It's a terrible look as well. But internationally, you can't stop a man without a British Boxing Board of Control licence from fighting internationally with a reputable commission that sanctions him to fight in a fight that's sanctioned by an international promoter. It's absolutely... But they're now writing to commissions internationally to tell them not to licence Conor Benn. It is wild, and it's going to be a massive problem. But listen... You're going to see this all play out on your screens.
I've never seen anything like that before. This is a personal approach from the board.
Unbelievable.
Now, if we're going to bring Derek into it again, he's made quite a few comments, and one of them being, why doesn't Ben just take, I think the quote was, eat his punishment?
Okay. So you get accused of something, right? You're innocent. And you got someone saying to you, why don't you just take your punishment? And you're going, I'm fucking innocent, right? And it's not saying that once. He's saying that over 7 or 8 months, time and time again in front of friends, family, like Matchroom, lawyer. Like, I've seen it up close. And when people say, oh, do you question your integrity in this? No. Or your morality? No, because I believe him, right? He's been through absolute hell. It's been 9 or 10 months since the test. I believe that in June, he should be allowed to fight. It's not, I know he's guilty, so I'm just going to find out. I believe in him. So morally, I feel absolutely fine about it, right? So when you say, just take your punishment, fuck off. Well, it's like when you go to court and you're being accused of a crime that you didn't do, and they're going, listen, just take a year. Just take a year inside. Come on, it'll be fine. No, fuck off. I'll fight for my right. And that's what Conor Benn's doing.
When you talk about morality and integrity and the family name, Derek, in a way, called that into question, which is what you're responding to. The first time an accusation of the sort went viral was Jake Paul. And you levied a lawsuit. Is that forgiven?
No. That's ongoing.
What's the difference?
What, between what Jake Paul said and Derek said?
Yeah.
One, because Jake Paul accused us of paying judges in fights. And Derek basically just come out with a tongue-in-cheek comment that because they train in my gym. And, it was a very different comment made on a different platform with different numbers. And what Jake Paul said was extremely detrimental to the trading of our business. And he never apologised, and we are where we are.
Okay, apart from that, obviously, Jake Paul and Tommy Fury had a big fight there in Saudi. Jake Paul faced defeat for the first time. What did you make of his performance that night and now his future?
I thought he did really well. I thought he's really, he's better than I thought he was. He's still average, which is what I said originally. I said, but ultimately, he trains hard, he puts the effort in, he's got balls, right? He can punch a little bit. He's very limited. But I respect him in the ring. I think he's done really well.
You think he can make good in the rematch and be successful?
We want to see the rematch, really. It was what it Fury should have won it comfortably. I think he does next time. He won the fight, but it wasn't the greatest spectacle. But it was a bit of fun, and I'm sure it did great numbers.
Another fight that will do incredible numbers in just a few weeks is Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia. How do you see that fight?
It's a lot of money. $85.99. But the great news is, if you are a DAZN subscriber, you get that fight for 60-something bucks. So you get it cheaper if you're a DAZN subscriber.
Is that DAZN only in the UK then?
No, in the US, where it's pay-per-view.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, back to the fight.
Yeah.
Great fight. Love the fight. One of the biggest fights of the year. One of the biggest fights that can get made in boxing. Got a sneaky feeling for Ryan Garcia.
Calling for Ryan.
And I never thought I did because I think Tank's brilliant. Just got a sneaky feeling for a Ryan Garcia knockout.
Is there one thing that Ryan does that gives you that confidence?
You know what it is? Because I've spoke to a lot of people in that division who grew up with both guys and who's trained with one of them or both of them. It's shocked me how many people give Ryan a great chance in that fight. I just thought, no, Ryan can't win. But people who are much more knowledgeable about boxing than me, fighters, have said, I'm telling you now, he can win that fight. And so therefore, he's the outsider, but I'll back him.
Kell Brook posted that you told him all that he needed to hear. What did you tell him that he needed to hear?
Something about a couple of million quid. I don't know. No, we had a good chat. We've shared a lot of memories together and experiences, and he wants to fight. He wants to fight Conor Benn. We'll see if we can make that fight. And if he can't make Conor Benn, he'd like to fight Manny Pacquiao. I mean, we talked about the Liam Smith fight. But he'll be back for a biggie. He still feels fresh, and we'll see.
We've heard Tyson Fury come out of retirement and say, boxing's the only thing that keeps his head right. We know that Brook has had his challenges very recently. Is this a case of that? Maybe boxing is just the only thing he can do to keep his head right and keep himself maybe out of the troubles he's seen recently?
Maybe. And if it helps and you're fit enough to do it and you still have ability, why not? I wouldn't recommend it if he was a shot fighter or it was time for him to retire. Box well against Amir Khan. Says he feels great in the gym. And if it's helping him in other parts of his life, why not?
Then in that regard, what is the best matchup for him?
Conor Benn.
But that's not the fight that you want to make for Conor. You still want to make
but Kell won't be ready till September, October. So once Conor Benn knocks out Chris Eubank, he could fight Kell Brook.
Another fight on the horizon is Lomachenko and Haney, one that's been long awaited. How do you see that fight?
Bad timing for Lomachenko. When I tried to make that fight 2 years ago, maybe more, and not Lomachenko because it wasn't his idea, but Top Rank got him upgraded to franchise champion so they could avoid Devin Haney. That was a tough fight for Devin Haney at that time. 3 years on, great timing for Devin Haney. I cannot see how Lomachenko wins that fight at all. I think he'll win a comfortable points decision.
And lastly, I know that Joshua's obviously who you expect to win Saturday night, but can you see a way that Franklin bests him on Saturday? And what would that be?
By catching, countering, by being slick on the inside, by being a style that maybe a traditional upright heavyweight isn't comfortable with, which is, don't forget he's 24 pound lighter than Dillian White fight. He's going to be faster. He's going to be letting his hands go. It's heavyweight boxing. I'm scared. But listen, fingers crossed AJ does the business.
Radio Rahim with Eddie Hearn will be doing the business Saturday night.
Eddie.
It's coming. It's coming. Trust me on this one. We'll be doing the business Saturday night at the O2 Arena where Joshua started his career and the new dawn begins. Radio Rahim with Eddie Hearn.